Greetings, July 2nd, 2012. Let's see, I began this work in either late November or early December 2010, so not too bad. I think the Show a Dreams piece, which is that enormous framed 4x8 foot work here, took me all told a year and a half. So, problems. So the first piece of plexiglass, which is on top of the drawing right now, I broke when I lifted it at a inopportune place and broke the arm, and had the piece, but now I don't remember if I threw it out or saved it. If I saved it, I'm not sure where it is. I've got a lot of stuff. So, and then the second piece I had cut, I've discovered to my consternation, has that 10 small cracks in it emanating out perpendicularly from the, like the long edges. So this is actually probably the longest. I saw two that were 1 1/4 inches long. This one here is looks to be about 2 inches. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a piece by hand myself from electric saw for the hand here, place that in there, place the second piece of plex on top of it, so I'll have a double layer of plexiglass, and we'll see how it looks, and then if it looks okay, I'll start drawing, start gluing in all these little pieces of wood. The dice and checker styles are just kind of leaning posts. Anyway, the most important thing is to protect the drawing and try to keep it as visible as possible. So we'll see how this proceeds here. I'm hoping to have this done before the open house on Saturday. We'll see. Okie doke. Take care. It is at 2 minutes 38. doesn't want to turn off. Uh-oh, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna be stuck for eternity in Carmen. Pangosh, I am very sorry to disappoint you. I had a golden opportunity and I let it pass because I went to the bank and the teller asked me where I was from. Where are you from? Are you Hindu? And I should have said yes. I am from Mother India. I'm from Bombay. Oh, where do you think I'm from? Can't get that from. I need to practice trilling my R's like in Barcelona. I am from Mumbai. I am from India. Of course I am from India. What do you think? Anyway, I didn't seize the moment. And till next time. But no one's ever asked me before if I am Hindu. I've been asked if I'm from India, if I am from Iran. That was during the hostage crisis in Tehran. I've been asked if I am Brazilian. I've been asked innumerable times if I am African American. And I've been asked if I am a Jew when I've been in Israel, no less. It's a very confusing world, I must tell you. That yes, we Indians must seize the moment. Okie doke, bro. I am at the Burke here, drawing in the ornithology lab. This is a primeval gefilte. I'm not sure if it's from saltwater from Puget Sound or freshwater from Lake Washington, but it is, wow, something else. I made a lot of fish or fishlets. But you gotta love that mouth. Teeth and eyes and everything. Whoosh. Wow. Greetings. It is November 3rd, 2013. The drawing is nearing completion of my interior depiction of the Great Synagogue of Warsaw, which was completed in 1878. Not my drawing, the construction of the synagogue blown up by the Nazis in May 1943. With some accoutrements in the kind of exterior sections of the drawing, including a what they call in Britain, which cracks me up, budgerigar, what we say is budgerigar, parakeet. I've got some imagery inspired by photos from either the Wooden Synagogues book published in Poland in the 1950s or from Monika Krajewska's Time of Stones, from black and white photos of Polish Jewish gravestones. Try to get back to get the whole thing in there. There you have it, to be continued.
Ore.
aren't of me, but they were from the anger session. But just seeing the beards and the mustache, kind of, I can see some people might say, hey. So there you have it. Thank you, Mrs. Mimyech. Well, I thought I'd film this one fish, this black and white one in the center here, because I don't really like it. I think I'm going to zap it. Well, I like it, but it's too derivative of 1930s art by European artists. This is getting a makeover here.
Right, softly, you need a bit.
Wait, what do you need, please?
Come and get.
Well, I did have a face and then I dropped it. Oh, God. I spammed it on the table like this.
Well done.
I didn't mean to drop it.
Do you know what is nails? I can't say that.
Harry, best fish in the world. Harry, best fish in the world.
Like
I don't need
oh,
Harry,
and actually don't
think
think
that's what you're going to need. Harry, stick it.
Could I have a little bit of extra?
Could I get some more as well? Because I'm ready tomorrow.
Can I get Harry? How did you say it? Why?
Mine actually looks quite stable.
Who's not here?
Harry,
Harry, Jackson, and... Right, we need soft plate.
Oh, I need some chair.
No, let's
So these are from the second session. It's 20 minutes. These are from the first 5-minute anger session here.
So we make it into, we have to make it be cold. We put a thumbnail set.
Actually, this is from the second session also.
Well, we don't want to make it thin. But just a wee bit of placing around it just now. So that you make a kind of little pot or cup.
You're not sitting here.
Can you make his face a little bit more? I just kind of dropped it on its face and it went
Well, that may do.
slid away. It's really chubby now.
These are from the first session. Anger. Okay, go. This is a vehicular pedestrian 2016. I'm on the second day of work on what will be Sightseeing with Dignity Human Rights Art Series drawing number 25. Dibujo número 25. And it's going to be a double portrait. It's going to be vertical. And once the portraits are done, I'll be taking it up to the Burke. I'm planning on drawing a wing on her right shoulder, which will be viewer's left, coming up that way, which will flow into and around the wing coming out of his also right shoulder, viewer's left here. So they'll kind of intertwine. Fernando Brodsky was a Argentinian young man murdered at age 24 by the military regime in Argentina. He was Jewish also, among several thousand, I believe, Argentinian Jews who were among thousands more who were murdered. Los Desaparecidos, the disappeared. He was un desaparecido in 1979. His brother, I've read, is an artist and involved in human rights work dedicated in memory of his brother Fernando and others who were murdered by the military. And Maura Clark was a Maryknoll sister, American. She was raped and murdered, as were 3 other nuns in El Salvador. Actually, she was from Queens, New York, my hometown. She was murdered in 1980 by National Guard, and there was a big cover-up by high-ranking officers who had been trained actually by the United States military. Several of those officers were later granted permanent residency in the United States. Anyway, the first day I did the kind of pencil outline and the ink wash backgrounds. Today, second day, I've started the ink drawings, to be continued. Oh my God. That's it. Maybe I'll play the piano. Hang on. And there's the prayer shawl that I showed you that used to belong to the brother of a friend of mine here. And I have it intertwining, like intersecting, with a Palestinian scarf. It's called a kafia, which Palestinians wear. I have to grab something here. Excuse me for 1 sec. I don't remember who, but it's an American toy.
It's a joke.
Kind of like from Cowboys and Indians. And so that's here. The arm and hand are actually my own. So he was in the Israeli military. He then became a well-known actor and a movie director, documentaries among others. And so he was Hebrew and Arabic speaking. And the last years of his life, he was younger than me. I was born in 1950. He was born in 1958. He was assassinated 2 years ago. So he was
Assassinated means murdered, everybody?
He was shot to death. He was directing and running a theater, like school, for Palestinian youth. And it was giving them the opportunity to learn about something that they would not have the opportunity to learn about otherwise, because there was no other theater in the West Bank and in an area that's a site of a lot of conflict between Jews and Palestinians because of land. In fact, when you think about most wars going on in the world today, I think about land. Northern Ireland, Kashmir near India, Sri Lanka, used to be Ceylon, Iraq, the Kurds, everywhere you have the wars, people are fighting over land. People want it for themselves, and then you have the religions come in and it becomes even deadlier. So, and then I discovered these talking birds. Has anyone seen these before?
Yeah.
This is very interesting where you can put one of these on a table and you have a whole lot of adults laughing like as if they're 5, 6, or 7 years old, because it repeats everything you say. So I like to do a little experiment here. We have people who speak several different languages, yes? And who'd like, anyone interested to volunteer in a little exercise? I'm going to put it up on YouTube, education film.
How about it?
Yeah?
Somebody want to speak Chinese or Vietnamese into it?
Tony, do what? No, do what?
Who'd like to volunteer?
Let's try it.
So you're going to speak Vietnamese? Vietnamese? Yeah? You're going to speak Russian? We have one more language.
Chinese.
Okay, come here, please. Okay, so let's see, what would be good to say? I'm talking all about conflict. Well, let me make sure this is working. So, I'm going to say, you can't step here. This is my space and my bird. Silently translate that into Russian, Vietnamese, Chinese, and we'll say it like, as soon as I'm done, you start, then you go, then you go. Now we'll hear what the bird has to say. Okay? Come closer. Can you translate? You translated that?
Don't come here.
Don't come
This
here.
is my
space, and this is my bird.
Okay. I think you have to put that part in first. Yes. That part goes in.
Oops, I messed it up.
Here we go. This part. This part. Put that in. Okay. This part goes in like that. Then you push that down. Okay. There we go.
Space and my bird. So I'm going to repeat. So as soon as I'm done, you start. Let's not give them the opportunity to start until we're all done here, okay? Hello? Hey, this is my space and my bird.
Это мое место, и это моя птица.
Đừng có đến đây, đây là chỗ của tôi và đây là chim của tôi.
不要过来，这是我的地方，这是我的鸟。
Okay, now let's do it really fast. This is my space.
Это мое место, это моя птица.
No, wait again.
Đây là chỗ của tôi.
Come closer, please.
All three now together. One.
Okay, this is my space.
Это мое место.
As soon as I'm done, you can start. Like just a second later, and then same with you. Okay, here we go.
Đây là chỗ của tôi.
That's good. Okay, good, please.
这是我的地盘，这是我的鸟。
Это мое место, это моя птица.
No, this is my space.
Đây là chỗ của tôi.
这是我的地盘，
Мое место.
我的地盘。
Qua là Tifa.
This is like overwork. You did good. Thank you, thank you.
All right. 24th, I'm with 3 drawing class students of Don Barry's art class at Seattle Central Community College. We're about to go off and do I'm going to facilitate my drawing for healing workshop. And the students had some questions about the drawing of the Italian Jewish resistance hero and Obi Juju Kenobi and so on. What was your question again, please?
I was just wondering if that was the drawings were related to your time during that time period?
Well, no, because one thing, I was born in 1950, which is 5 years after World War II ended. I kind of grew up in the shadow of World War II. Growing up in New York, a lot of Jewish people where I grew up, some of them were Holocaust survivors, let's say like parents of high school classmates of mine.
Does it have some of the different things within it part of your life at that time frame when you were drawing?
At the time I was working on the drawing. So I did the drawing in 2002. For example, there's a linoleum block print portrait there of a man named Alex. And this on the upper left, the upper right there, and the lower right. So Alex, in the 1990s, I knew Alex and his wife. They were both refugees from Nazi Austria. And they lived in Seattle after World War II for many years. They're both gone now. And after Alex's wife died here in Seattle, he moved back to Vienna after 60 years, and I went to visit him for several days in 1999, and I did some drawings in the linoleum block print. So he was, his own mother had been murdered at the Auschwitz death camp complex in Poland, among other relatives. So there was, he kind of interwove in my life.
Right.
I knew them from years, 1990s. At the time, they lived in Magnolia, and I had worked I was a library clerk for 29 years. In the 1990s, I worked at the Magnolia Library branch. So that's kind of how Alex ended up in here. The chicken toy, I mentioned I had planned to draw a seagull, and then I saw the toy, and I thought that fit in. It just worked in terms of what I wanted to do. I hadn't been to Italy at the time I did the drawing, but I did go to Italy 2007, was that 6 years ago, and I stayed in this district near where I could walk along the river where this photograph had been taken during World War II, where there were Jewish forced laborers who were forced to do work along the banks of the river, where this 2,000-year-old tomb, Hadrian's tomb, is still there. So the dreidels, being Jewish, Hanukkah, and some of the other things are, I don't know, just kind of all kind of interrelate to, I suppose, my. There's certainly autobiographical elements in some of the works, even if they don't portray me directly. Like the, I'm gonna come over here for a sec. Like I did this drawing last year, and there are things in here I took out of sketchbooks I've done. Like this is like when I was a community college student, like 40 years ago here, a drawing of a girlfriend. Sketches of birds I did in West Palm Beach when I would visit my mother there. A sketch I did on a Cascades hike just a couple of years ago. I cut it out of the little drawing sketchbook. So kind of, even though this depicts someone I didn't know personally, but I've read some of his books. He's a now famous writer who was a Holocaust survivor himself. So similar with this thing, there are sketches here, boats up in Ballard. There's all these fishing boats there.
You could, you know, take the bus up there, the Mountain Lake Bridge, you know, the lampposts, and so on. And some stuff also from my imagination, like this here, and so on. So it reflects both my interest to portray victims, as well as it interweaves my own life and consciousness in different ways. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.